Hi guys, it's Theresa here of Brighten and Design with my Photoshop tutorial number 10, which is a layout for week 9 in my 2017 Project Life album. And so I'm creating the digital portion of the layout using Photoshop CC, and I'm working with photos from week 9, which was February 26th through March 4th. So I'm just going in here first off to assess the photos that I have from that week. It felt like it was a fairly light week as far as photos were concerned, but that's okay. I think I had about 9 or 10 maybe, and I'm going to do a couple of, you'll notice I'm going to do a couple of duplicates across the page. And they're just different angles or different poses or whatever from the same time frame. And so for now I'm going to just lightly edit each one. I have an action that I created to lighten each one and resize them. I typically resize them to 1800 by 1350 and 300 ppi. And then I do a little basic brightening using the curves. And I created an action. You can create actions in the cloud version of Photoshop. You cannot create actions in Elements. So if you would like for me to share with you how to create actions, those are basically they're tools that help you do the same thing over and over again to a group of photos. So if you guys want me to share with you how I create actions in Photoshop, let me know. Just leave me a comment or message me and I'll do that. There's something that I don't use often, but I have set up this brightening and resizing tool just to help click through those parts of the process just a little bit quicker. Now I'm going to start on the layout, actually assembling the layout here. So I've pulled up a template from Paisley Press. I'll link below which one that is, and then I've enlarged my canvas so that it's 12 by 24. Now I already pretty much have a feeling that I'm not going to fill up a full 12 by 24 layout. So what I want to do is similar to what I did a couple of weeks ago in my 2016 album, and that is the actual photo template itself is going to be 9 by 12, and then leave the background or bring in a pattern paper or a color for the background to still be 12 by 24. So the first template is brought in, and I'm just placing my guides, and then I duplicate the layers all at once and copy that template over to the other side. Now I'm going to make just a few changes. I'm going to hide some of the layers that I know I'm not going to use, and then I'm going to start bringing in my photos. And so I just bring them in one by one. I use Control-C and Control-V on my desktop, and then I hold down the Shift key and resize them so that they fit in the frame that I have for them. And of course then you create your clipping mask to clip them to the size that you need them to be on your layout. And so right now I'm not really thinking too hard about anything right now, just simply placing the vertical photos into vertical slots and the horizontal photos into horizontal slots. And that way I have a feel for how many I have that are able to be filled. And then I can move them around a little bit and achieve the balance that we're looking for. And you can see right there, I pulled that one into the frame below it and then decided to put it up here. One thing I am going to do on this layout is just create a couple of, I'm going to use a couple of square photos on the 3x4 frames and leave them square so that there's a bit of white space around them. And you'll see how I deal with that later, since it's white frames on a white template. You'll see how I deal with that here in a little while. I also move that one across, and I just slide the photo to above the frame that I want it to be in, and then clip your mask again to that frame. Once you move a photo from the frame that it's in, it will release the clipping mask for you already. So just a couple of things that were going on this week. It was a really kind of rainy and drab and dreary week, except that the flowers in the yard and in the neighborhood started popping just a little bit. So I snagged a couple of photos of that, and you can see here I'm working with these photos of my daughter. She had Spirit Week at school, and she was allowed to wear college gear one day. So she decided to wear one of my old college sweatshirts from Meredith College in Raleigh, North Carolina, and that was our sweatshirt from 1995. So she was pretty, to use a UK word, she was pretty chuffed to get to wear my sweatshirt, and I was pretty excited about that too. Now I'm using a collection, it's the April add-on, I think it's the April add-on at the Lily Pad from Paisley Press called Rainy Day. And so the MPM, the Memory Pockets monthly kit, was called Renew, and then Paisley Press did an add-on called Rainy Days. And so that's what I chose, is this tiny little floral print. Oh my gosh, I love it. And this little blue background was really sweet too. And there were just some nice soft colors here. I like the emphasis on the rain here. There just was like a lot of rain for a couple of weeks, and which is typical and good for spring, right? But it does wear on you. I don't know about you guys, but I was ready for the rain to just move along. So anyway, I have a photo of the street coming into our neighborhood with the rain on the ground and the sky, but the sky was blue. It was just this strange little patch of blue sky, and everything else around us was soaking wet. So that's kind of fun. Now I have just a couple of spaces for journaling cards here. I'm also going to do the date card at the top left hand corner. That's pretty much where my date cards are parked for this album, is up in the upper left hand corner. It's just something that takes the decision making out for me, right? And it's also something consistent throughout the album. Now you'll see now that well, let's see, what else am I gonna do? Oh, okay, I'm gonna do this thing with these square photos, and I'm just grabbing a color from the floral pattern paper and changing the colors of those frames. the rectangular frames so that they match some of the little colors from that floral. Whoops, not like that. So one is pink and one is gray. And then, let's see what I'm doing here. I think I'm just saving it. Yeah, so it's done, and I'm gonna wrap it up. So I will see you guys back here again soon. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye bye, you guys.